moving on, moving on,
Yes.
moving on, and I thank God for everything. It is amazing. These things are not. Hey, imagine if a person can create such a kind of a history. That kind is brilliant. But this one is not just something that is being created. It's real. Something that happened to me. It took place in my life.
Yes.
It's not something that sitting down, organizing, acting, faking, not really. But this one is real. It happened to me. Nobody can act this. It's real. It happened to me. And how God turned in my life. So it is so powerful how God was moving in my life at the moment. When God converts you from being a member to be a son, that is something beautiful. That is a huge transformation.
Yes.
That is a transformation of the church.
And then it comes with the responsibility. That's why we are saying sons have home mentality.
Exactly.
Because of the responsibility. They bear the responsibility with the father.
Exactly. When you're talking of the same thing, it's like the son maybe is in a place like United States, and the father is in some Europe or maybe Australia, so some different place, or maybe somewhere in Africa. And there's something happens to the father. There is so much that happens that God does to the sons to make them aware.
The son is connected.
It's connected to the father.
Home mentality.
The home mentality. There's something is happening with my father. I really have to rush there.
And I know that's my father.
I know that's my father. And when you come back there in that place, you'll find, hey, there's something is happening.
So you don't become a father because probably you prayed for somebody's salvation.
No.
It's more than.
Yeah, Paul is saying they're instructors, and they're those fathers. Fathers are few.
Yeah, very few.
Very few. Paul is talking of instructors and fathers, which fathers are very few. And so, praying for you for salvation does
not necessarily make you a father.
Just receive Christ, but that one is not your father.
Not necessarily.
It's costly.
Some may end up being a father, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Not necessarily. So this moment is like there's a lot that have been deposited in my heart. I'm charged. My eyes have been opened into new levels. New levels in the heart of God. As I'm coming back to school, very strong. Coming back in school, charged, and come and face some of the challenges there. When I now came back to school, is when I was shocked how God does, how God works. I was shocked the way God was started revealing to me the hearts of the students, the hearts of the people around me, the hearts of my fellow students. I was shocked.
He started opening your eyes.
He started opening my eyes just to see.
Your eyes to see.
Exactly. He opened my eyes to see. It's like I'm seeing a different thing. It's just like an instance of Samuel. God looks he dwells a lot in the hearts of the people. As in he really looks, he focuses in the hearts of men.
Yes.
He really focuses in the hearts of men. And you can see I was brought a picture of now the students. I was brought a picture. I was seeing a picture of a person who have been in a shameful something shameful in a mess, and it's like in trouble. And the person is crying, is crying for a help. It's like he's crying for help, and the person comes in and is saying, it's like a sense of crying, and it's like the person have a certain like promises. It's like the person is promising God.
It's in a desperate position.
Desperate position.
It's giving God promises.
Exactly. And you can see it's giving God promises that when God you remove me in this place,
maybe I'll serve you.
I will serve you.
Maybe I'll not forget you.
I will not forget you. It's like this person is like he is like in trouble. It's like in trouble, and he's telling God, if you do help me out, the person
take me
out of this place. It's like the person have a vision. You can see the person have a vision.
Yes.
The way he's seeing things, it's like he's also saying, you take me to school, I will come and help my parents.
If you educate me.
If you
transform my life.
Transform my life.
I'll change my people.
Change my people. And then again, another picture was brought in. A picture, and you can remember, I will start with the word of God in the book of Exodus. When the people of God, it's like these are Israelites.
Yes.
They are like crying to God for salvation.
When they were in Egypt.
Even they're in Egypt, they're being mistreated, they're being tortured, scorched, tortured. And all of these situations that are happening. It's like they're crying to God, and God is looking down and is remembering the covenant.
Yes.
That he did together with his servant Abraham. And that thing pulls him down. And
to go and rescue them.
And it's like in the book of Exodus chapter 2, you can hear in verse 24, the Bible says, God had their groaning. God had their groaning. It's a groaning from within. These people have gone through a lot.
Yes.
And it's like, there's a picture here I'm being brought to. It's like the scenario of Moses. The people have cried. They have cried all their tears.
They're now groaning.
They're now groaning to God. And God is seeing that. He's seeing the situation and is coming down. Himself is stretching his hand in that situation to pull that man out of that place. To bring him into a safety.
Yes.
To bring him into a safety. And along the way, God is telling these people, do not forget what I have done.
Do not forget.
Do not forget what I have done. Do not forget the salvation that happened.
Yes.
Are portrayed. They do not forget. When you go into the promised land, do not forget.
Don't forget.
They go there, they forgot.
Oh my goodness.
The moment they reached in the promised land, they forgot everything. They forgot God, they forgot the salvation, they forgot the way God, the provision of God in the wilderness, the security, the leading of God into that promised land.
The provision, the manna.
Everything they forgot. They started worshipping the gods in that land. They forgot God. And I had someone is telling me the vision. That is the heart. That is the situation of all of these students.
That is the situation of all the students, you're saying.
In the school. And that moment is like God opened my sight to be able to understand also about sponsorship. And it's like I came to realize, because God is the one who was revealing to me these things, that this school was sponsored by missionaries.
Oh my goodness.
They were sponsored. It's like it's like 99% of the students were sponsored. And I've ever heard of sponsorship somewhere, but this one was different. How God was explaining to me these things.
Yes.
These people have been sponsored. They have got that opportunity to be sponsored.
Oh my goodness.
But they have come here and forgot the Lord, their God. They forgot the crying, that groaning they had, the words, the vision that they had. They have forgot everything.
Where they were before.
Exactly. God is sending this man, and I'm really touched by how God is working. And God is bringing this Moses in their life.
Yes.
Moses in their life. Mr. Wallace Kamau and Mrs. Wallace Kamau.
A family.
A family. Kamau family. And I thank God for the family, for capturing the vision that was coming from above. And they take hold on that to tell the world that the Lord has spoke. That the Lord has come to us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for grabbing and taking hold of the vision that was coming from God in your heart. And so there was so much connection.
With what God was telling you.
There was so much connection. Also, how God connected them there outside to be able to come here in this slum, in ghetto, in this bad situation, this frustration, to come here and try to help.
A place of groaning.
A place of groaning. And say, hey, there's hope. Say, hey, that's why I think the school is called Missions of Hope.
Missions of Hope.
There is hope.
That's the very core.
Rise up, there is hope. And it's like their prayer was answered. People who had bad company, a place looked like deserted, a place like was segregated from the other communities. Ghetto. A place whereby a lot of people could only get bad company and join, like some people also abuse drugs.
A place where dreams are shattered.
People don't even care. Never cared. But Moses.
And Moses. Mr. and Mrs. Warris.
A family is being sent there. And many a times, even when I was seeing Mrs. Wallace Kamau, now the wife, Mary Kamau, when I was seeing her sometimes giving out the speeches in school, sometimes she was emotional. And the moment she will revisit the moments, she was an emotional person. The moment she will revisit the moments, tears could come out. Because of the situation that was there.
Oh my God.
Because of the situation that he found the kids were in.
The desperation of the
and the cry. The Moses. And I'm telling you, this is real. And so these people who are called and they were saved by God and brought into this land of opportunity. But
where they could get education,
they came
future, where their dreams could be harnessed.
Yeah, you can remember the first picture. They had a cry and a vision and the promises to God that when you brought us into this kind of a place, we will serve you. But they came here, they came in this place and they forgot everything. They forgot about God. God was showing those hearts. And I was asking myself, how will I reach these people? How will I reach to them and maybe help them to understand what God is doing or what God is saying? How the heart of God is right now. How God is feeling right now. It's like I could not stand the situation that was there. It was so bad. And I was asking myself, I was asking God, how?
Did God lead you in a way that could reach them?
Amazing.
God is amazing.
And God
it was Him who wanted to reach them. Through you.
Exactly.
And you are aware,
I was aware
that God is using me to reach them.
I asked God, how? How do you want to send me to these people? How do you want me to reach them? In which way? Because it's very hard how they used to program everything, how they used to, it was so tight. So I remember then the next morning after now, God had talked to me that night. In the morning, because we used to take a breakfast. Our breakfast was porridge.
Yes, porridge.
We used to take porridge in the morning around 6:30 in the morning, and then at some point at the break hour, the long break, which was 11 to noon. We used to have also a tea. It was a tea break, and so we used to really. Those are the moments that we could cool a little bit. So God is coming and is telling me that's just why that morning He came and told me, I don't want you to take porridge. I don't want you to take even that tea.
Oh my goodness! Now from mandazi
to
tea to porridge.
To tea and porridge.
Oh, to tea and porridge.
And you know, one of my favorite was tea.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, missing that tea was like...
Was it easy for you just to let go?
It was not easy. I was asking God, what's the meaning of this? No. And I was like, what about my education? I was so much concerned about my education than what God is saying.
So your mind was saying,
it's like,
empty stomach, no education.
No education.
No understanding.
I used to wrestle with God sometimes. Because this is my education. I mean, I have to rescue, I have to save my family.
You also have a vision.
Yeah, I have to save my family. But God, why? Me, it's like, why?
Jeremiah scenario again.
Why me? I'm just a child. And,
taking my food,
my favorite meals, especially breakfast, and then the tea break after now exhausting mind. I was like wrestling with God a little bit, and later on, you know, God always won the battle.
He always wins.
And it's not like, okay, God, I want to understand why. There's a reason as why you are telling me not to do so. So why? So that day, because we used to go at the parade around 7. It was on Monday, I remember. It was on Monday because on Monday it was like Monday and Friday was official day, whereby we used also to raise the flag.
There's a flag.
Exactly. So now at around 7, Around 7 now, we are at the parade. All of us.
Okay.
At the parade. All of us.
The entire school staff, students, everybody.
The entire school. So we are there. And it's like, after now, because we had a program on how it used to work, to run, so that maybe it can run smoothly and people go back to classes. So the praise and worship were called, and they worshiped there, and they sang a song. After that, there will be a preacher, someone to preach or give people a word for some few minutes.
And then you raise the flag.
And then we raise the flag. Again, because that day, it's like we prepared ourselves as CU officials and some CU representatives. Many times, CU officials were the one who normally talked in the parade.
As expected, yeah.
Exactly. So this day, there was someone who was chosen. But now when the programmer, the one who was now programming the situation, called the name, or they called the name, anybody who was maybe
the one who was prepared to preach.
Exactly. The one who was to prepare to come and preach. Nobody was showing up.
And he was there, quiet.
He was just there, quiet. Nobody. The whole parade is quiet.
Is called.
Not even being called. Who will preach? Because they don't know the protocol. It was not part of the CU official, because CU officials are the people who used to come and sit down. You're the one who's going to preach to us tomorrow. Those kind of things. So, but he never had that. But he was saying, "Who is the preacher today?" And it's like, come and preach to us, the preacher. So it's like it's being called, but nobody's standing up. Nobody's standing up. And I asked myself, what is happening? I was among the CU officials.
And nobody is standing up.
Nobody is standing up.
And the one who was to preach is right there, quiet.
Imagine it's quiet. Nobody turned up. I'm telling you. And then the guy said, "Is there a CU official in this school?" I think the CU official was hit. Was attacked at the parade.
Yes.
Know that it's our official day.
Yes.
There are teachers, there is principal, deputy principal, everybody.
There.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Staff members, everybody's there. Oh my goodness. Is there a CU official in this school? And it's like, nobody want to come out. And I said, oh God.
Oh my goodness, how can I betray you?
Give me strength.
Oh my goodness.
It's that scenario of being thrown into the den of lion. And this is Daniel. God help me out.
Help me out, God.
Just help me
Start
out.
With me.
I don't know what to do. Just help me out.
And you are not prepared. You never came to that parade to preach.
And at that moment, something clicked in my mind. God connected the message.
Right there.
Just right there. The message that I told you to preach or to speak out. Go and send that thing out. I just connected. I never struggled.
You step forward.
It is the right time. It is God who have done this. It's God who have stopped this. I remember the time when he was telling me to miss the porridge.
Yes.
I think this was the reason.
This was
he wanted to stop everything.
No wonder God tells us to obey him first.
Exactly.
Because he wanted to stop. We cannot understand.
He stopped every program that was to run that day.
To put his program.
Put his own program.
Oh my goodness.
I came in as usual. We used to follow some protocols as people who speak. And I started with acknowledging our principal, the deputy principal,
the teachers,
the teacher admin, teachers,
the
staff,
students, my fellow students,
the CU officials, my fellow students. Good morning. It is Joel Austin now speaking.
Oh my goodness.
And I began telling them, I want to bring you people into a point of sight.
Okay.
It's like I just wanted everybody to feel the way God is making me to feel his heart. That was my desire. That can everybody come into a state of feeling the heart of God? The heartbeat of God, how God feels when we betray him, how God feels when we rebel. And so I started telling them, I want us to come into the point of sight today. The point of sight. Into the point of sight. I want us to see something today. And I started giving them a picture. The way God was showing me a picture in the vision. I started showing them, I started speaking, but I'm not putting them in my words. I started telling them I wanted to see a picture of a man who is now in a pit. Or maybe he's fallen down in some kind of a pit. He cannot come out of that situation. There's nobody to help him out. There's nobody to pull him out of that situation.
Yeah.
He's crying his all. He also at the same time he have a vision. He also at the same time he's crying out for help. That moment a hand comes. A hand is stretched.
Strong hand stretches.
A strong hand stretches and pulls that man out of that place. Yet the person was saying, if God you remove me in this place,
I'll do this and this,
I will do this and this, and I will serve you. I will serve you. And I told them, it's also a scenario of Moses in the wilderness with the people of Israelites. First they cried to God, God comes. They were groaning. God comes, stretches hands, and is coming in and is rescuing them out of that place where they were mistreated and tortured.
Yeah. No hope, no future.
No hope, no future. And he brings them out. And now in the wilderness he's telling them, do not forget what I've done. Do not forget my hands. When I will make you rich in the land, in the promised land,
do not forget.
Do not forget me. Do not forget. They entered into that land and they forgot everything. They forgot the provision. They forgot the hands of God. They forgot everything. Got everything. Everything. And so this is the time I told them. This is the time I told them. That is the state we are in today. That is the state we are in today. That is our hearts today. We cried a lot to God.
Yes.
Those days we were in the slums, in ghetto. I was telling them the truth, confronting their hearts. We are in the land of ghetto. A land full of frustration, a world broken.
No hope.
No hope. Everybody here had their own ghetto. Everybody here had their own places that it came from. A place full of just no hope. Nothing. Their dream shut. Nothing. And at that moment, a sound is heard, a cry, a groaning. A vision is seen by God. That one day, if you remove me in this place and put me in a school,
I will serve
you. And I will remove my parents or my mother, my father,
my friends from this misery.
Out of this mess. But we have come here and we have forgot God. God has brought us in this land, in this land of opportunity, and we have forgot everything. We have forgot God. We have abandoned God. We have rebelled against God. We have turned bang to be our God. I was telling them the truth. We have turned drugs to be our God. We have forgot the hands of God. We are the same people who cried to God that come and rescue us. We will serve you. But this time around, they come and they forgot everything. That was their canon.
That's the message you gave them.
That was them. And I told them, we have to come back
to our God.
We have to come back and serve God. Let us not forget the hands of God. Let us come back. Let us come back to our Creator. Let us come back to the one who brought us here. Let us come back and serve Him. Let us give our life to God. I was telling them the truth. And at the same time, I came to understand that, hey, they are not really even getting what I'm telling them.
That must have been very frustrating.
They were blinded and they forgot everything.
So
it's like God was really comforting the hearts. And I really had to tell them the message. And I said, thank you for listening to these words. Thank you for listening to these words. And I came out of that place knowing that, hey, these people have got nothing.
What was the reaction after that?
The reaction, I finished and I told them, if you have ears, hear what the Lord is saying to us. But if you don't have, then continue the same way. But I told them the truth. And the same, some people came and they were asking me questions. How can we turn? How can we change? How can we? Some people asked me genuinely, but some people used to ask me that way, like to really use that as a weapon to attack me, not really to change.
Just ridicule.
Yeah, exactly. So that was what was happening, and some of these things are happening today in the churches. It's not just in the school structure. Not that where God sent me. That is a place God sent me to be. To be able to talk with these hearts. To be able to make them understand that God is the one who have placed them in that place.
But it's happening everywhere.
It's happening everywhere.
People are making promises. If you give me a job,
I will do
if you
this.
give me a husband, if you give me a wife,
if I will do that,
if you take me from this problem today, I'll serve you.
I'll serve you.
They just forget him.
Let us come back to God. Let us come back to God. Let our hearts turn to God. The one who placed you in that place you are. The one who you cried to, and he have put you in that same place you wanted. Do not forget the hands of God. We reach in Canaan and we are forgetting the hands of how God stretched in our lives. And I pray at the same time that may God help me and help you also. The person who is beginning the journey, to help us to reach there and never forget him. Never forget the Lord. And that is it.
Thank
you so much.